Good morning to all present. My name is Bryand de Freitas, and today I come to tell about everything in learning in English during this academic term part 2. First, modal verbs. Modal verbs might have complicated the study of English at some point, but with right scrolls we can read things and it will make it easier for us to communicate more naturally. Modal verbs are responsible for change the context of sentences, can express of or modify their meaning with an idea in different ways, which make it difficult for some English learners to learn and use. How are modal verbs defined? To correctly understand and learn modal verbs, it is important to remember that they are never used with a grammatic person of English. Am, where, your, they, she, it. In other words, they never more have an infinity. A should never be used in a ground. They will never have a participle. Modal verbs can express for needs, probabilities, abilities, requests, suggestion, advice, conditions to difficult and complex ideas such as modeling. In this way, its meaning can be transferred depending on the verbs and the related context in the sentences. Let's analyze and sentences with modal verbs is I must drink this medicine today. Here we can see that modal verbs must indicate that there is an unavoidable need or obligation to take a medication. These modal verbs will always be translated as duty. List of then most used modal verbs in English. Can, could, may, might, will, must, shall, should, ought to. Our main characteristic of the modal verbs, there are four properties of qualities in modal verbs. 1. They should never be conjugate as we saw in a previous section. 2. Modify other verbs, that is, after a modal verb there is always a verb in its infinitive from which to a to. For example, you can clean it better. 3. They express suggestion, ability, probability, obligation, certainty, capacity, permeation, the be advice, request, need, or disposition. 4. Negative or interrogative form of a modal verbs does not need auxiliary since the verb in question is used for those purposes. For example, I can cry, can you drag our gear. Examples To correctly use a modal verb, let's rewind in a clear and easy way a context in which he of these 10 modal verbs should be used. The is mostly used to express ability or possibility. If translated into Spanish, it will be power. For example, I can teach you. She can't come this weekend. Can she play drums? It is mainly past tenses form of can and is used to express possibilities and ask or make requests in a formal tone. For example, you can get up early. I could not deliver my word. Close your call, my letter, please. The use of these modal verbs can express a possibility or possibilities. For example, Elle may be proud of her. They might not publish our book. May I go to a bathroom? Might. This modal verb is used for expressing possibilities, requests, or suggestions to others. For example, I might help you. This phone might not work. It is too old. Might think in tomorrow. Will. This is the most popular modal verbs as it expresses a future, but in its modal verb form it is mostly used to express a clear and direct intention to do something or a momentary decision. For example, they will leave happiness. Won't take a bus with us. Will she write a complaint? Both. These modal verbs can be used to show repetitive action in the past and to make requests in a friendly or courteous tone. For example, Elle will never go to that place. Elle will ride his own horse every summer. Elle rode his own horse every summer. Will you be my Valentine? Most mainly is spouses are convenient or a net in some situation it can manifest an assumption. For example, you must show appreciation. Elle must not return later. Must try head for breakfast. Shall. In general terms, its meaning is the same as will, but it as said to be used in a unit state. For example, we shall ask freeze. She shall not enter. Shall and call an ambulance. Shall. We can translate this modal verb into Spanish as duty. For purpose of its use, it can mean a recommendation or an obligation. For example, she shall take a painkiller. I shall not use el durante. Shall do it now. Ought to. This modal verb is used in the same way as shall, although it is rarely used, but it's important to take it into consideration. For example, I heard to good before el sunset. She ought not to be as mad. We ought to talk about it. How to study motor verbs. On the internet it is very possible to find many resources that can help you understand the use of modern verbs and learn English. You will discover a larger number of clear examples, practice guides, workshops, even games, apps, and other medias, such as videos on YouTube or watching series in English that will help you use modern verbs more naturally. We would like you to share with us to show recursos that have helped you advance in a correct use of modern verbs. Understanding your experiences can help others who study English like you. If you want to learn more about modern verbs and become an expert, you can enroll in our British Consulate Venezuela courses. Next theme is conditional and clauses. Conditional and clauses are used to express possible outcomes in the future when one event depends of another. It is in essence a conditions that, when fulfilled or not, cause another event to be triggered. Example: if I get a rise at my work, I will buy a new TV. Conditional clause: my clause. If more simple present, modern, more vast form of a verb. In same way, a conditional clause can be placed after a main clause. In this case, a command is not placed in the middle to separate sentences. I will buy a new TV if I get a rise at my work. In this type of conditionals, a present simple is used in a conditional clause, and for main clauses will, may, or might. A base for a verb can be used. This is also called type or phrase conditionals. For example, if don't study for this test, I might not pass the courses. If Shell don't not cook dinner, we will buy something to eat. L implicit roles for when speaking of a twin person. L share it must be following in a conditional clause since it is a present simple sentences. Here are some examples that provide more clarity on the use of conditional clause combined with modal verbs or possibilities. Example 1. If I don't go to work today, I will lose a punctuality bonus. Shell will go on vacation next year if I'll save enough money this month. If you start hating your junk food again. You might gain some weight. A student might not pay attention if you present boring classes. If Gaby goes to a party, she may have a good time. Mr. Wilson may not buy a house if does not receive his loan. If a pizza don't arrive on a time, will get it free. A computer might not work well if it has a virus. If Vanessa rents an apartment, she might throw parties more often. Diana will not travel soon if we don't have free time. Activate next time. Next time. Active voice and passive voice. How many head chest have your head training to understand active voice and passive voice in English? With this article, you can say goodbye to that. Both active voice and passive voice are very useful in daily life of any speaker of a language. They allow you to form more complex sentences and add richness to the rating of a text or dynamics to what's your take about how to choose best English courses for you. Get to know download our book to know how to choose best English courses and master a second language. For example, in British English, passive voice is often used in combination with report speech to form sentences like the following. It is now to Cristiano Ronaldo is the best football player in the world. These are general as statements to be made without making both say it in a first place or sources of information. This is common in every British English, so it's important to be aware of it. In addition, there are certain topics in which one or other dominates. For example, when reading some historical event, it is very likely that you will find a passive voice. Notre Dame's cathedral was built along 3 centuries. On the other hand, in export narratives, this from dominates. El goal helper to el penalty in the last minute. As you can see, the intention of the 2 sentences varies a lot. That is where it is important to know when are used. In this article, you will find information to identify in your own text or oral presentation when how to use both voices, the structure some incompatible verbs, and tips to convert an active voice into passive voice and vice versa. What's is differences between active voice and passive voice. Many problems in understanding passive voice in English being with concept of voice to bring which in grammar concept of voice reference to a relation that the verb as which the subject is to be highlighting in sentences, and in these senses two options are one, emphasizes agent execute action. Action is voice. A group of birds save a lion of the S's. Emphasizes an object that is a recipient of action, passive voice. A lion was saved from the S's. Therefore, differences between active voice and passive voice is information that you want to highlight. Between active subject perform action and passive subject they receive it. For example, active subject fire destroyed a house. Passive subject a house was destroyed by fire. Below you can find more information about weightage of taste, cute voice, how to train tail, and how to use use them. Active voice. El structure of el active voice is follow. Subject more transitive verbs, more direct object. Remainder. What is a transitive verb? It is a type of verb that as a direct object as a recipient of an action expressed by a verb. For example, what head could cook, listen to, write, etc. One way to identify them is by asking what is the object of an action. In responses include not only a verb but also an object. For example, Eduardo has apple every day. What do Eduardo do? Eduardo do. Eats apples every day. L4 head is transitive verbs. For example, of an active voice. Jose Guadalupe Posada created La Catrina in 1999. El band will release their next album this afternoon. My mom cook chilaquiles every Friday. When you use an active voice, any kind of idea can be expressed in any kind of voice. The main difference lies as we have your senses in what information you want to highlight. According to this, use of an active voice can be as follows. To make clear a subject that perform an action, you lie to me. To give agility or strength to idea. I'm tree a rock. To save words. El Congress accept el proposal. Passive voice. Below you will find a structure of a passive voice. Direct, more verb to be, more verb in particular, more preposition by more subject. Example of a passive voice. La Catrina was created by Jose Guadalupe Posada in 1999. A new album will be released by El band this afternoon. El car is watching by my dad every Friday. How do you use el passive voice? To emphasize el action, no el subject. El proposal was accepted by el Congress. El emphasize el object, no el subject. El cake was made by my mother. To keep el subject anonymous even if is now. El wall was vandalized to describe our action or subject is now or irrelevant. Every year millions of people in Mexico are diagnosed with diabetes. To create a common term, dogs are not allowed in this park. Birds that cannot be used in a passive voice. There are 5 types of birds that due to their use many or contexts cannot be used in sentences with passive voice structure. Where are they following? Intransitive verbs. Reminder. What is an intransitive verb? They are those that do not require a direct object or recipient of an action. Asking what is a recipient of an action is it towards or else sentences make sense even what's a direct object. Example, Anna is sleeping in her bed. Was used on a do shall is sleeping. These sentences cannot be transformed into passive voice. Some common intransitive verbs are die, disappear, exist, young, rain, room, sing, sleeping, is now. 2. Some stative verbs. Example, el jacket belonged to my dad. 3 is not a way to transfer these sentences into passive voice. Tone transitive. Some staff verbs are not used in a passive voice. Example of these are the following: below, have, look, lack. Below, have, lack, resemble, is sweet. 3. Verbs that are always passive. Example: they were born in Culiacan. L are some verbs that are usually passive, but L structure of L sentences in which L are used are not passive. Some of L are born, hospitals, populate, ship. 4. Active verbs with passive meaning are sentences in which any transitive verb is used but in a context where it has a passive meaning. For example, a new car model does sell as well as the last one. 5. Passive verbs with active meaning. The opposite can also happen. Verbs with passive meaning, they are used in sentences with active structure. For example, Tuesday are gone. How to transfer one voice to another. Below you will find a guide that will help you transfer an active voice into passive and vice versa in use a few steps. Active voice to passive voice. Example: my grandfather planted trees. Step 1. Identify El three elements of el sentences: action, agent, my grandfather, verb or action, planted, direct object or recipient of an action. These three. Step 2. Put a direct object in position of a subject in a sentences. These three. Step 3. Include a verb to be in the same verb tenses in which original sentences in conjugation. In this case, past simple. Not a verb to be must concise in persons which are complete, not which subject in this example unknown as subject is grandfather, it is this person is singular text, trees are third person plural. So el verb to be is not was would were until this step. El sentences look like this. These three were. Step 4. Add a verb from the original sentences. These trees were planted. Step 5. Add a proportion by. These trees were planted by. Step 6. Finally, put an action again. 2 trees were planted by my grandfather. A passive voice to active voice. Example: my house was decorated by my sister. Step 1. Identify elements of sentences. Direct object: my house. Verb to be was a verb decorate. Preposition by action agent my sister. Step 2. Delay el verb to be on a preposition. My house decorate my sister. Step 3. Put an agent in a subject proposition in all sentences. My sister. Step 4. Include a verb my sister. Include a verb my sister decorate. Step 5. Finish with an object of an action. My sister decorate my house. Many thanks all watching people. Bye.